Hey there, fellow entrepreneurs. I'm Sue, and you've just stepped into Entrepreneurs Gone Wild. Every week, I'll introduce you to a friend of mine, a remarkable entrepreneur who's not just changing the world, but also harnessing a secret weapon, time outdoors. Together, we'll dive into their journey, unpack invaluable business advice, and discover why embracing the wild is not just good for the soul, but also a goldmine for inspiration and innovation. Ready to uncover the secret that's boosting bottom lines and fueling joy? Hit subscribe and join us in the wild. Ladies and gentlemen, I am thrilled to introduce to you Lori Bertoni, a dedicated coach who specializes in helping women over 40 transform their lives and their bodies. She's passionate about guiding women through the challenges of hormonal weight gain, oh boy, and helping them achieve balance naturally. Through her group and one-on-one coaching programs, she empowers her clients to take action and reach their goals. Get ready to meet a coach who's truly committed to helping you have the body and life you desire. Welcome to the show, Lori. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here as well, Sue.
This is so cool. All right, I got to know more.
Okay.
We'll circle back. Like, who do you help and what problem are you solving for them?
So I specifically help women over 40 who are, struggling in that perimenopause, menopause, post-menopause stage. Like I've got clients, mid 40s to mid 60s that I help to balance their hormones. And their pain point really is that nothing is working for them, right?
Yeah.
That their diet, their nutrition, they're pushing harder than ever before to really have some success in their, in their life somewhere, but it's not working. So it's showing up in their body. So all their frustrations in their business or their relationships or their whatever else is kind of manifesting in their body hormonally too. And we're dealing with losing hormones. So because of my past experience as a fitness instructor and personal trainer, and then, my mindset work as a coach that I've been doing for the last 10 years, I embarked on my own perimenopausal journey, and all of a sudden I was like, bing, a light went off that I realized, oh my gosh, okay, hormones, let's just focus on balancing hormones. Let's give our poor bodies a break. Like we're so hard on them. So I really help women give their bodies a break, have a little bit of grace, and focus on something else for a little while, right? And so, and then it works. And then all of a sudden they're like, wow, Lori, it's amazing. How does it work? And I'm like, because what you focus on expands. So, right?
Oh, so, yeah, literally.
People, if you think that you're constantly just worried about weight gain, you're going to just keep gaining weight. If you focus on balancing hormones, your body's going to say thank you, and it's going to release the toxins, the stored guck and yuck, and right.
That's so amazing because I'm 57, so I totally get that. You may be saving the world. like there's so much more
one
that
woman at a
do.
time, right? Yeah.
But it's like this could be such a major distraction to a woman. Like we're not dead. This is the second half, And
this is like our prime. We're ready to go.
And if we're distracted by this whole hormone and weight gain and all that kind of stuff, it's like, what a waste, like all that stuff that's in us that we're meant to bring out to the world. So thank you. I'm glad you're out there doing
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, I had to go through my own, little hell there. So to figure it all out and put it all together. So
that's the thing.
It's so relieving. I was like, I love thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah. You took ownership of a problem you did not cause. This is what I love with entrepreneurs. Like you took ownership of this and you're like, wait a second. You had a problem yourself, you solved it, you figured out, and now you're teaching other people and helping them to have that. That's incredible. So
thank you.
So you said you started as a fitness trainer.
Yeah, fitness instructor and personal trainer.
Yeah, how did you, and then you went through this yourself, but how has that done for your basically your entrepreneurial journey? What started it in the first place? And talk a little bit about more about where you are in it right now.
I embarked on entrepreneurship very blindly. And so that's been a whole journey in itself. But, when I was a fitness instructor and personal trainer, me and my husband, we moved to another city. So I left my job, I moved to another city. And it was just something that I did on the side part-time, being a fitness instructor. It really wasn't something that I planned on doing as a career, which is interesting. It was just a passion of mine, right? Like fitness, moving my body. I'm a very body oriented and centered person. Like I just feel better when I move my body. So it just made sense. Like, and I didn't get that nobody else got that. I'm like, what do you mean you don't like to move? I'm like, what? So yeah. So when I moved, I'm like, I'll just do this as my career. I'll just be a fitness instructor because I was already trained. So I'm like, I'll just do that for my career. So I embarked on this journey of, you know, helping women find joy and fun in fitness. So I taught like fun Zumba classes, like Friday night Zumba classes and like boot camps. And so I tried to make fitness as fun and interesting as possible.
Yeah.
And then when I started into personal training, because I met a fitness instructor, a woman who was like in her late 50s probably. And I remember she said to me, she said, and she was working, right? And she was tired. And she was like, can I give you some advice? I'm like, sure. And she said, find a way to make money that doesn't require you using your body. I was like, that's really great advice, right? But the exertion, I know, ha ha ha. But it's the level of exertion, right? And so as a Zumba instructor and a fitness instructor, you're doing the class with people. So you're using your body to motivate and move other people. So that's when I became a personal trainer. But I didn't enjoy like standing over people, you know, counting push-ups and like, I'd be like talking to them and 8 turned into 50, right? I'd be like, oh, we got to start over again. Like, I'd lose count.
Terrible counting.
So I didn't make a great personal trainer that way. It just wasn't fun for me because I want to do it with them, right? But as a personal trainer, you have food journals and all that boring stuff. And even though nutrition is so important in the health world, in the fitness and exercise world, people didn't want to comply. They were like, well, I forgot today, or oh, I didn't like it. And I just couldn't understand why they wouldn't comply. And I knew there was a mindset challenge to it. And so that's when I embarked on the mindset coaching, and I became a practitioner of NLP to really help understand those mental blocks that people have in propelling them forward to follow through on the things that they needed to do. And what was ironic was, I think once I turned about 37 and the perimenopause symptoms started to hit, which I didn't know at that time, hindsight is really 2020. You know, I was starting to gain weight despite my diet and nutrition, like a couple pounds, and then, you know, a couple pounds, and then a couple pounds, and my tactic, and this is how I was trained, was exercise more and diet and constrict calories more. Like that was all I was trained to do. And that's all I did. And the more exercise and diet I threw at it, the worse it got. I'm like, how is it possible? How can every diet fail? Like, I'm a disciplined person. Like, I don't get it. And then, anyways, long story short, finally, I came across Dr. Mindy Pell's The Menopause Reset. And she talked all about the losing hormones in perimenopause. I was like, holy shit. I was like, this is it. This is it. I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Because I was like, I'm not going crazy. Oh my gosh, I have to change my whole entire approach to fitness and exercise. And nobody taught me that. No one taught me that. And you know what? The best thing that came out of that, Sue, was walking.
How about that?
Walking. Literally, I think like walking pretty much, even though I love snowshoeing and doing all those things in the wintertime, and walking and doing all that stuff at the waterfront with my friends and all that stuff, it really became a staple to balance hormones. Once realizing how messed up our hormones get.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
so are you seeing it not only, I mean, this is incredible, because of course, normal fitness advice, like you've said, you know, eat less, move more, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people will be like, oh, walking, that's, you know, it's not even
not enough.
You know, it's not enough.
Not
Right.
enough.
That'll not enough. So this is like, you're turning this completely upside down on its
Yeah.
head into what actually is workable and doable. Like, pretty much
like,
anybody
do
can
less.
walk, you know?
It's like, actually, if you're over 40 and you're a woman, do less, work out less intensely, work out, just don't kill yourself. Like,
really? Yeah.
You don't got to do burpees no more. Like,
No,
you're welcome.
hallelujah. Lori said, I don't have to do them anymore.
You know, like, unless you want to, you don't got it. No, you know, and if your trainer says do them, say no, I don't want it. It's okay. No,
That's
seriously.
amazing.
Yeah. And it threw me totally off, and no one's training it. Like, women, maybe now more women are getting more hormonal support in their training. But the irony is, last year I even hired a woman personal trainer to help me because I was at my wit's end. I was like, and then I gave up. I'm like, I am never trying to lose weight again. And that's when Dr. Mindy Powell's, her book came into my life, and that was it. And I was like, wow, we women really need to approach fitness differently after a certain age. And walking will be your best friend. So, you know, whether you're, you know, for yourself and you want to do wonders for your business, definitely get out and walk as much as possible every single day. And I'm sure we'll talk about that later. But
oh yeah, we totally will. We totally will. I think this has got to be, when you're talking with clients, it's got to be that they're like, wait, what? Really? It's that easy? Like, oh my gosh, I don't have to do this anymore. Like, what does your practice look like? Do you have, like, are you doing group? Are you doing one-on-one?
Yeah, I do both. So I run a group, a 12-week program. It's a group program, you know, 4 times a year, let's say, ish. And then I also do one-on-one. So depending on the level of support that the women are looking for, but I also do lots of like little 5-day live challenges, or, you know, really to give people a taste of, you know, what to expect, or, you know, before they, you know, take a deep dive into working with me one-on-one. And it really depends on where they are in terms of making that transformation, right? And what they're really seeking. But whether, you know, you're in a lot of pain and like have tried everything, you're at your wit's end and like want to work with me one-to-one, or if you're just like, listen, I heard this thing about walking might be good for me. Like, why should I do it? Kind of, you know, like just learning more. Or I didn't think walking was even remotely beneficial until I was 80 years old. It's funny. I did a little walking wisdom on that today. I'm like, why do we assume that walking is only associated with, you know, when we're really old? Because basically people think that's all they can do at that age. Like, you know, but it is like the most effective, basic form of movement available to us. And it's free.
That's incredible. So what is it with walking? Like, why, you know, we're totally getting into like the walking wisdom. I want to hear about that for sure.
Where do we start? Like, what does it not benefit?
Yeah, right. But yeah, so like in our bodies, I feel it's almost, when I walk, which, you know, I try to do every day, which is, I love walking in the woods, whatever. It feels like it's like oiling my joints. Like I was the Tin Man before, right? And then it's like, oh, now I can move. Like, is that a thing? And what else? What else are the benefits that people are getting as they learn to just walk some more?
Okay, so if we want to just talk about the physical benefits of walking, 100%. So like, we're use it or lose it. So we're literally using every joint in our body, like every muscle in our body. Let's keep it really simple though too. And so for sure, if we're talking about, you know, lubing things up, only comes from movement. So if you don't move your joints, then they're going to stiffen and harden and constrict. And so what walking does is that it literally aligns the whole entire body ergonomically. Right? So best is walking in bare feet. Okay. Number 1. So best thing to do is walking in bare feet, because people automatically assume that they need these orthotics and, you know, all these things. No, just literally walk in your bare feet and your body will adjust and align all by itself. Not to mention, and this is outside.
Yeah.
Also, not to mention that it will ground you. So ergonomically, it aligns the body, your spine, your muscles, your joints, like everything. And it's so funny. The other day I was walking and like, I don't walk for hours at end. I walk in spurts, right? The most I will walk, will go with a girlfriend and we'll go for a 1 hour walk, or I'll do snowshoeing. It's a little bit longer, around 2 hours, but for the most part, I do it in spurts, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 10 to 30 minute spurts, depending on my time. And so you'll notice that you'll start to feel your back get sore, or you'll feel pain in your muscles. Like, it activates your muscles. Your heart will start to pump, right? Because you're putting stress on it, right? You're moving it. You're, and it literally, so it's cardiovascular, it's exercise, and the benefits of walking for 1 hour are the same of running for 20 minutes. So you could run for 20 minutes or you could walk for an hour. You will get the exact same benefits. Physically, let's just talk about physically. You'll burn the same amount of calories, except running is just more intense. Yeah. Right? It just requires, you're moving faster, but it's still for 20 minutes versus a 1 hour walk. So you don't have to run. Like, people think they have to have intense movement. And one of the things I learned through my perimenopause journey is that intensity is not required to get results. You really should not use exercise. And I don't want to shit on you, but you should not use exercise as a weight loss tool. Okay? You want to use exercise as a body strengthening movement, right? Getting all those joints, like you were talking about, those juices flowing. Like, you want to do it for core strength, right? Because everything stays erect, right? You're walking. And so you want to use movement and exercise to strengthen and tone and fine tune your body, where weight loss happens in the kitchen through nutrition, through what you eat and what you put in your mouth, if that makes sense. You're nodding. So you're like, yep, you're speaking my language, Lori, right?
Yes, 100%.
Not looking at me like, what are you talking about? Because so that way people don't think that they have to go hard all the time. I'm not saying you don't want to break a sweat, but let me tell you, 15, 20 minutes of walking at a nice brisk pace, you'll break a sweat, no problem.
You're going to feel it.
So good. And you're detoxing. And that's the other thing that people, physical benefit of walking is you break a sweat, you're detoxing. Your body is now shedding, old toxic stuff that it's just not hanging on to anymore. So there's so many benefits, and that's just the physical benefits. We didn't even talk about the mental or the emotional or the spiritual benefits that you get. And you can get all those physical benefits you can get on a treadmill, right? So physical, honestly, if you're on a treadmill, you'll get mental and emotional benefits. But if you want a spiritual connection, a mind, body, spirit connection, that happens outside. Happens in nature, right?
That's the juice. Bring it.
That's where you have, a spiritual situation going on.
I like that, a spiritual situation. I love that. So what does that look like for you? You mentioned your walking wisdom. I guess let's talk with that.
Well, seeing as I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm very active on social media. I personally love it. Not many people are a big fan of social media and creating content. I'm of the latter. Love exercise, love social media. I know. And so I'm always sharing. I love to share. If I find something that really works for me and that's exciting, I love to shout it from the mountaintops. Check this out. Like, if it helped me, I hope it helps you. This is what I got out of it. And that's just the way I've always been. In fitness, like when I discovered Zumba, oh my God, I thought it was the best thing ever. It was so much fun. Like, let's do Zumba. So for me, I always had a gift to share with social media. And so once I realized, when I started walking or doing walking stuff, I was always taking a picture, doing a story. And if you know social media and stories, they're like 1 minute and you gotta stop, and 1 minute and you gotta stop. And when you're on a roll and you have a gift for gab like me, 1 minute is never enough. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna record them. Just gonna record whatever I'm inspired to share and then see where that goes from there. And so yeah, I just would start recording video. So I've been trying to use different platforms in different ways to try to see what works. So I started recording in my actual podcast platform.
Nice.
And so I figured out how to put it on my phone and and so, yeah. And so when I'm out walking, even though I'll have an idea or whatever else, it just keeps coming. It's just like these ideas and inspirations. And I do it without a script or anything like that. I just free flow and I just like talk until I can't talk anymore. I've got nothing else to say or whatever else. So they can vary in length from like 10 minutes to half an hour or whatever. Depends on how long I'm walking for. Half an hour is pretty much the most. Yeah. And you know, and it's funny because there's a lot of I don't even know what to say, but people would say, listen, when you're out walking, you should just be quiet and just listen and just whatever else. And I was like, I don't work that way. Like if I'm outside walking, I'm talking either to someone or to myself. Like it has to come out somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm not a writer, right? It's just easier for me to spit it. So I don't believe that. So I don't listen to that. I just walk and I talk and I record it. And whatever comes out, comes out.
That's great.
F-bombs and all. Like
it's
just
out, I mean, it's right? just, I love that. It's like you become a conduit almost. So like stuff is just coming through you.
100%.
That is 100%. So cool.
Yeah.
That is
it's
so
just,
great.
You know, and that's the spiritual connection you get from nature.
Yeah.
Right? You are connecting to source, God, universe, all of the above. Like I don't even separate them. I'm just like, it's all the same thing. So whether or not you're barefoot, or I like to at least try to touch grass with my feet or touch a tree with my hands or something, right? Because it's a grounding. It literally will get a negative charge or a negative, discharge and a positive charge, right? And that's how nature works. Like they're literally designed, trees are designed to live off our garbage and spew out, you know, and literally spew out and breathe out life-giving sustenance, like to us.
I love
oxygen. And it will take our garbage, our energy, our negative crapola and just recycle it.
Yeah.
What a amazing relationship we have with nature.
That's a great way to put it.
Like we are so connected.
Yeah. I mean, and you couldn't, even if you have a great friend, like you wouldn't want to do that to them, right? Like, I mean, there's the give and take, you're sharing and you're getting the input and all that, but that's a lot to put on a person. But if it's, this is just how we're built and how nature is built, wow, what a fantastic design, like that's incredible.
Yeah. And the beauty is so we talked about the spiritual connection, the mental connection with walking and being in nature is that you are recycling your thoughts. And as you're recycling your thoughts, they're being emitted out. So by the end of a really good walk, you should be like mentally drained, emotionally drained, like ready for a nap to get recharged, right? That's how you should feel at the end of any workout, anything. Like let it be that you give it, all you got mentally and emotionally, because your emotions and how you're feeling, like when you feel like, because we really, and you were talking about getting stuck at that computer and whatever else, and you get frustrated and you're like, I gotta figure this out and I gotta finish this and I gotta whatever else. I'm like, literally, though, that's the moment where you should stop. I'm not shitting on you, and go and be in nature. Go for a 10-minute walk and you will see that it will either give you an idea. It will clear out any of the gunk, the stuff that's stuck or whatever else. It'll give you a new perspective. Like just stop staring at that screen, that blue light brain fryer.
I love it. Blue light brain fryer. Yes.
Go outside and like feed your eyes some sunlight and whatever else, like those natural things. because it just does so much wonder for us. Like, it's so simple. I think, and this is what we're talking about. It's so simple. People are like, it's not worth it. What's the point?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. I just gave you like all the points. Exactly.
Right.
And
we want everything to be complicated. I think if it's not hard and complicated, it's not good. I mean, we're crazy like that. This is beautiful. Like, this is fun, relaxing, and easy.
Some people can't allow themselves. Some people can't allow themselves that though.
Yeah.
And I think that, and this is what puts people in a lot of pain, right? Yeah. This is why people struggle in their business. I think that is that, they think and this is how I was struggling in my body too. I thought that I had to work out harder and eat, like eat less and everything else like that, when my body was literally screaming at me to be like, could you please eat more and do less? Like, yeah. Like, right? Could you possibly take on a different idea to be like, what if for 2 seconds, just for fun, like I'm not trying to change anybody's, morals, ethics, and values here, but just for fun, if you could think for 2 seconds, what if working a little less might make you more money? What if?
Just do an experiment. I know.
For fun, shits and giggles, for 1 second. If you just, took 10 minutes in your day and went for a walk just to see what would happen. Maybe nothing. Or maybe you might get but what if you got a really great idea? Or what if something magical could happen in that moment? Or maybe you bumped into, your neighbor and you had a really good chat with them. You connected with another human being. Like, what if it just, they are your next client, or they could, you never know. You never know. True. And what we bang ourselves literally in the head with that computer, like so many times, trying to figure out and sort things out on our own, when the answers are all around us, outside of us, right? Like, that just the help and the support, right? Yeah. Or maybe it is within you, but you got to take a minute to just be quiet or connect with something higher to, tap into it, to realize it too, right? That, we're not a machine. You need to, even though we are a machine, we need rest and food and, movement and all those other things. We just work better, right?
That's beautiful. It's part of here's a design manual. I mean, like the mechanics. Here it is. This is what works. This is what you should do. That's so great, man. All right, so
or just try it. I don't want to shit on people. That's what I'm saying. Like, I have lots of ideas. But
maybe
here's
just
a suggestion.
Try it,
just whatever, for fun. Yeah.
Thought experiment. Just
yes.
No long-term commitments, like a gym. No long-term commitments. Just give it a shot.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
So let me ask you. So as you go about growing your business and, attracting leads, social media is great for that, serving your people and all, you run into questions, I'm sure, like every business has the ups and the downs and all of this kind of stuff. What do you find yourself thinking about, like now when you go for a walk and you're thinking about, your business? Where does your mind go for that right now?
I think that right now in my business, I'm in a state of service, right? So I'm always like ways in which I can help offer more value to people, in the sense that, would this be helpful? Would they care? And we were talking about, sometimes I think like, do they really care about that? Does anybody really want to hear about that? Yes. Even, you know what I mean? And should I do a live on this? Or that's why when I'm walking, it's very natural and intuitive, right? Because if I'm inside and I get an idea, I'm like, okay, I'll do this next walk that I go on. Like, I won't even sit down at a computer and do it. Wow, yeah. Because it comes out best and easiest when I'm walking. So those types of, so when I'm walking, but when I'm stuck in my own business, I really just think about like, what can I share? What would be of value to them, to my clients? How can I serve my community? Mostly like, what's working in my life right now that I can share with them that could be beneficial to them right now? Because, for the big, heavy business questions in terms of like, there's strategies and, like all those other things that can be so overwhelming. Honestly, I just go back to that's a push for me. That's a push. And where something comes really easy to me, strategy might come really easy to somebody else. It doesn't come easy to me, right? I don't really focus on the how. I'm more of like, why? What's the point? Why do I want to do this? Where other people are like, show me how. I need to figure out the how I'm going to go from 0 to $1 million. Where right now I'm like, I don't care about the how. I don't know how, but I'm going to stand in the joy somehow that doing these silly walking wisdom stories or whatever is going to take me there, because this is what I'm inspired to do. So I'm a little bit more go with the flow in those types of things. Yeah, but it always leads to a client. So I'm doing something right.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, that's the thing, is like, if you're able to, in the way that you speak, if the people out there are going, she's in my head, oh my gosh, she totally, like, if you use the words that are already going in their head because you totally get it, you've been there, like, that's where magic happens. They're like, oh my God, they connect.
So yeah, and I think what how we mentioned before, like, what you focus on expands. So I think that if I'm just offering value or just sharing my story or what's working for me or whatever else, that somehow, somewhere, somehow, somewhere that's going to resonate with them. And I also stay top of mind. So I don't want people, I don't like to stay away for too long. Honestly, I can't. I couldn't keep quiet for that long if I tried.
I love it.
But you know what, when I do is when I'm not outside. That's when you won't see a story, or you know what I mean? Because I'm like, nothing is inspiring me. So here's something really good, is we get inspired when we're in spirit. And we're in spirit literally when we are in nature. So that's how you get inspired and new ideas and stuff like that. So, you know, when I see a beautiful tree or a beautiful bush or a beautiful sunrise or a beautiful sunset or whatever else, it's just, that's inspiring to me. And that gets me excited. Wonders, miracles, those little things. I think spiritually, we are a very spiritually drained society. Because of social media and because of internet and all those things. Like, we're really and the pandemic didn't help either, right? Like, so we're really like closing ourselves closing ourselves in and closing ourselves off, and we really need to get out and expand more and detach and you know, because here's the irony though too, right? We're connecting right now, so energy is still passing. We're still getting that oxytocin boost. Like, we're still, you know, getting some sort of form of connection, right? And you can be inspired that way too. But the irony is both of us start from it coming outdoors.
Then you have something to share with people, because you have something depleted.
To give. That's right. Exactly. So when you fill yourself with inspired or in ideas or whatever else, then you have more to give other people. Like, I love if I could riff with someone on some marketing ideas or social media content ideas for other entrepreneurs. I'm like, I would love that. Be stuck in a room with somebody to be like, let's come up with some marketing ideas.
Let's do that. That sounds fun.
Right?
I think that sounds amazing. Man. All right. Well,
we'll go for a walk first.
Yes. And then hang out at the campfire.
For sure.
Like, go sit in the creek for a little minute. And like, I think that sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. I mean, I want to bring you back sometime, because we could just keep going.
I would love to.
That would be so great. We have to do that for sure. But for this time, all right, where can people find out more about you, Lori?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Lori Bertoni. Really, really simple. You can find through my link tree in my Instagram bio, you can book a session with me, time to chat, all those things, or you can find out about my programs or webinars. They're all listed there. They're usually up to date.
All right. Yeah, that's
So,
fair. That's fair. Go ahead. Well,
but
we'll
yeah,
put links
even
in.
just,
Well,
even
yeah.
send me a DM or whatever else. Yeah. Hit me in my DMs. That'd be great.
I love it.
If
I
you
love
have
it.
any questions. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. This is fantastic. Folks, go out.
Yeah.
Take a walk.
Thank you so much for, inviting me and let me talk about my passions. I love it.
I love it. All right. I'm going to kill the recording. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.